Hello YouTube, this is an introduction and explanation of my PlayStation 1 collection. So we'll go ahead and get started. The PlayStation 1 was basically my first modern system. I kind of came into gaming late. I never had any of the earlier cartridge-based consoles until way later. Basically, I bought a PlayStation 1 to buy Final Fantasy VII because I was a fan of the earlier games in the series. And that kind of made everything else happen. So we'll start out. I have a single big box game. For people who don't know, when the PlayStation 1 originally shipped, they came in these gigantic, implausible cartridge, or these gigantic jewel cases, I guess. They open like a book. They are very, very, very fragile. See if I can even open this without breaking it. This is the original Ridge Racer. There was absolutely no reason for them to come in these large cases because inside is just a regular CD and an extremely large manual. Only I think maybe the first 6 months or a year of the PlayStation's life cycle in 95 and 96 did these games even come in these big cases. So I think a lot of titles were later re-released in regular CD jewel cases. But this is the only big box title I have. And I believe Ridge Racer is a launch title for the system. Everything else here, nothing's really, it's not in alphabetical order, but we'll go ahead and just sort through it. We have Qix Neo. This is I just recently picked this up at a flea market for brand new, unopened. The case has got a little crack in it, but you know that's not a big deal. Qix is a Taito game from the arcades way back when. It's kind of a puzzle game where you have to draw a line around parts of the screen and avoid monsters. It's kind of neat. We have Final Fantasy Anthology. This is the Greatest Hits Edition. This is Final Fantasies 5 and 6. These are basically straight ports of the Super Nintendo 1 with PlayStation-style saving to the memory card. Going along with that also is Final Fantasy Chronicles, which is Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger. These are basically ports of the Super Nintendo version. Interesting thing about these is I think these were extremely late produced discs. They don't have the black bottom of normal PlayStation 1 games. PlayStation 1 games always had this distinctive black bottom. These ones, for whatever reason, are silver. I looked it up on the internet. They're legit. I think just Sony changed their production method at the end of the PlayStation 1's lifespan. We have here is a sealed copy of Nitrous Oxide. This is kind of like a Tempest-style arcade shooter with music by the British band The Crystal Method, or British or American, I'm not sure, but it's kind of like a techno band from the mid to late 90s. This I also have as a download title on PlayStation 3. This is an unopened version of the PlayStation 1. It's kind of a neat game. We have, where is it here? I have 3 copies of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I have my original release Black Label. I have a Green Label Greatest Hits that's open. Whenever I want to play the game, I play the Greatest Hits edition, so I'm not putting any additional wear and tear on the big box, the Black Label version. And then I have an unopened version of the Greatest Hits edition. I got these at Sam's Club or a BJ's Wholesale Club. They were basically in the $5 bin, and if you look on eBay, they don't cost $5 anymore, so they were a good pickup. We have Andretti Racing. Never played it. We have Rage Racer, which I think is Ridge Racer 4, I think. I got a whole bunch of these racing games on an eBay auction. That's why they're all at the same time here. And we've got Rallycross. I think that might have been the last one. Wipeout Excel. As I said in the PSP video, I am a very big fan of the Wipeout series. These were done by Psygnosis, which has this little scary bird as their logo. They were a Sony studio that made computer games, and then they moved on to the PlayStation 1. And I've got in here, there's even a little ad for the Wipeout XL soundtrack. This game was released in Europe as Wipeout 2097. It's the same game. This is just the American version of it. Since we're on Wipeout, we'll also do Wipeout 3. I think this is more uncommon as far as the PlayStation games go. Both of these games have phenomenal soundtracks. Wipeout 3 is, I don't remember it being as good as Wipeout XL, but it's a Wipeout game. What are you going to complain about? We have the original Tekken, which is the Green Label version. The original version of the first Tekken was a big box game. I don't have that one. I have the Green Label one, which I think is also pretty rare, because this shipped way, way, way after the other ones. We have a Black Label of Tekken 2. I got this the week it came out. This game is really good. We have, let's see if I can find the other one. We got Tekken 3. We've got all the games in the Tekken series on every system they've ever been out on. It's kind of a shame that they're moving that into the digital distribution arena, because I have a collection of all the other games. It would be nice to have them all as physical copies. This is the Green Label version of Final Fantasy Origins, which is Final Fantasy 1 and 2. These, like the PSP versions, have Super Nintendo era graphics. You know, it's good. Okay, continuing where we left off. We have Final Fantasy VII. This is the Black Label edition. This is the game that I bought the PlayStation 1 for. I still have it. I have to go through and beat it. I think I'm on the last disc. I have to find my memory card sometime, and maybe if it still works, we'll go back and finish it off. We have Resident Evil 2, the DualShock edition. I don't think I have the original Resident Evil, but I remember this being the best game in the series, at least in my opinion. And this is the re-release, which supported the DualShock, and I think it has some extra story modes and things like that. We have some Working Designs games. We have Ray Storm, which is a shoot-'em-up. This had a contest that was part of the promotion for the game, that basically you had to do something absolutely crazy in the game and get a perfect score, and you could submit your results to Working Designs, and one lucky winner won $10,000 from playing it. But this game is difficult to play, especially on the later levels, so only the most die-hard shoot-'em-up fan would be able to actually beat it and get everything you needed to do. I think they had the same thing for Silhouette Mirage 2, or Radiant Silvergun, some other game that they released that was extremely difficult. You could win a prize if you finished it. The sequel to Ray Storm is Ray Crisis. This is just about as good as the other game. We have Colony Wars. This would have made a good PC title. I don't know if it ever did. This was basically like a Wing Commander kind of Descent Free Space 2 kind of game, where it was twin sticks, you moved around, you fly your ship, you shoot at things. This was also by Psygnosis, I believe. This would have been a really good PC game, but I don't think it ever came out on PC. And there was a sequel to it that I remember not being that great. So that's the only one that I picked up. We have Street Fighter Alpha 2. An early PlayStation 2 game. It's decent. It's not bad. We have Ridge Racer Type 4. This was part of the eBay auction that I got that contained a whole bunch of racing games. We've got King of Fighters 99. I don't have any of the other ones on PS1, but I have the later games in the series. And the last game is Omega Boost, which is still sealed. This is a game by Polyphony Digital, which is the company that became famous for making Gran Turismo. They made this shoot-'em-up game that is 3D in space, and it's still sealed. I've played this as, I think they have it as a digital download title, but I have an unopened copy of it. And I think that's about the rest of what we have here for PlayStation 1. So thanks for watching.